If we lack a sense of passion in our own lives, for our own lives, I think that our other relationships are going to be denied that energy. Our partnerships, our friendships, our children, our communities, corporations, classrooms, congregations are going to be denied that energy, right? And I think ultimately it starts with the one-on-one, that one person following their passion or call can have a profound effect on the unfolding of other people's passion and call. And especially if you are in a position of leadership or stewardship, and maybe especially in relation to children and young adults. So whether you're a parent, teacher, mentor, minister, manager, coach, counselor, CEO, or politician, I think this much is certain: your passion is critical to their engagement. And this is probably why, when I headed off to college, my father's advice to me was, don't take courses, take professors. Interesting advice. And you know, the mechanics of inspiration being what they are, they operate as much at the collective level as at the personal. Maybe some of you have heard about this one. The Gallup Company, as in the Gallup polls, they did a survey in 2012 of 142 countries, worldwide poll, and they found that on average 87% of workers were either not engaged or actively disengaged. Only 13% were engaged. All right? So not engaged means you're checked out. All right? Actively disengaged means that you are busy acting out your unhappiness and your dispiritedness and spreading the virus around among your friends and your colleagues and your children, etc. Right? I think it's interesting that, so I heard a business columnist explain this Gallup poll by saying it's like you're part of a rowing team out on a river. What it means is that one of those members is rowing his or her heart out. 5 of them are just taking in the scenery, and 2 of them are actively trying to sink the boat. And I do think it's fascinating that the category that's missing from this Gallup poll is one for actively engaged, i.e. passionate. And, you know, I don't know why this is. Maybe there were so few people in that category that they considered it statistically insignificant, which frankly, of course, would be significant in itself. Right? So, but if dispassion is contagious, so is passion. It's equally catching. We just have to catch it first before we can spread it. So I'm going to wind up with this beautiful story that I ran across from the Colombian novelist Gabriel Garcia Marquez. He tells a story of a man who's trying to solve the world's problems when his little boy comes into the office and asks if he can help. And the man is touched by the boy's concern, but he's impatient to get on with his work. So he takes a map of the world and he rips it into little tiny pieces and he hands it to the boy and says, "Here, you can help by piecing the world back together." And the little boy, of course, has no conception of what the world looks like, but he takes the stack of shreds back to his room, and 2 days later he comes running back in. "Father," he says, "I've put the world back together." And in fact, all those shreds of paper were very meticulously taped together. And the father is stunned by this and says, "How did you do that?" And the boy turns the paper over and he says, "Well, on the back was a picture of a person. I put the person back together, and then I turned it over, and the world was back together." Thank you.